Meaningful connections come from finding a common ground. If you struggle to connect on a deep level with people, maybe you're trying to sell veganism to a meat lover. There's no common ground. You might be the most devoted and devout vegan in all human history. There's someone you really want to get to know on a deeper level, but they happen to love eating cheeseburgers, steaks, pork, and poultry products. Save yourself a lot of hard work and frustration because your best efforts are probably going to be in vain in that example. The two of you might have a lot in common. That won't matter if veganism is a cornerstone belief in your value system and the other person won't give up eating meat and other animal-based products for all the money in the world. Occasionally you'll find two people that are polar opposites and that have a worthwhile relationship. They say that opposites attract. This is certainly true on some occasions. Most of the time, though, you're going to find it a lot easier to connect on a meaningful level with someone if you have a lot in common with that person. Use Google and Facebook to find like-minded individuals. If you find it difficult to locate people with your interests, let Big G do all the work. Run a Google search for vegan groups in your city or something similar. Browse Facebook groups that talk about veganism and vegetarianism. Head over to meetup.com. The website helps you find meetings, parties, and other get-togethers in your area that are full of people that share your interests. You can search online for Your Interest plus forums. Browse the results you get when you look for Your Interest plus blogs. Check out the top results and look through the comments on the blog posts. Get involved in the conversations, and you can find other people who are passionate about the same things you love. A shared interest makes connecting easier. This just makes sense. Two people can meet and find out they get along really well. Then they discover they're both passionate fans of rival sports teams. That in some cases is the end of the relationship right there. Talking with someone about a topic you both really enjoy gives you a chance at forming a deep connection. It makes developing meaningful relationships easier. Use the tips we shared above to find others just like yourself. That can lead to more meaningful connections and fulfilling lifelong relationships. Connecting with someone might mean taking the first step. Be the first one to reach out. If you want to get to know someone in a meaningful way, sometimes you need to be the one to take the first step. After reading that, your heart might be in your throat. You envision terrible things happening. No way are you going to be the first person to attempt to make a relationship richer or deeper. We understand that can be rough. The ceaseless inner voice has a way of always painting the worst possible picture, and that's probably what's happening right now. Nobody likes rejection. The most successful salespeople will tell you that every no leads them closer to a sale. That having been said, they would rather hear a yes than a no because they're people that can prefer acceptance, like you. When you put yourself out there and try to connect with someone, rejection is always a possibility. Obsessing on possible rejection can keep you from reaching out. How many people have wanted to get to know you better, but were scared to make the first move? A coworker may really respect how you carry yourself on the job. They would like to get to know you better so you can help them handle customers in the same way. Yet they never put themselves out there, asking you to join them for lunch or just to have a short conversation. This might have happened to you before. You met someone who intrigued or impacted you in some way. They were interesting. You immediately thought it would be nice to know more about them. For whatever reason, you didn't have the courage to get a conversation started. The more you worry about your vulnerability, the harder it becomes to reach out and take the first step. Do what Nike says. If you're thinking about reaching out to someone that you don't know very well, go ahead and take the plunge. Don't second-guess yourself. Stop overthinking things. Follow the advice of the multinational sports apparel and equipment manufacturer Nike. Just do it. That identifiable slogan makes sense in this situation. Just take the first step. Move ahead and say hello. Reach out and connect. If you get stonewalled or receive a cold response, that's okay. Give yourself kudos for taking the first step and trying to connect on a deeper level. The more you do this, the more you'll find yourself being received warmly and forming more meaningful connections. Meaningful relationships are major health boosters. You feel good when you form deep connections with people. That's probably not news to you. From a very young age, you've had people in your life that you feel you knew very well, and you miss them when they aren't around. You enjoy the time you get to spend around people you care about. When those people in return care about and support you, you have the basis for a meaningful relationship. The same is true if you're naturally outgoing or prefer quality time alone. Even introverted people who recharge their internal batteries by spending time by themselves benefit from strong connections with others. They may have a smaller social circle than most, but they recognize the need for deep and lasting connections. Ask an introvert, an extrovert, or those of us who are somewhere in between those two extremes. you'll inevitably find that the majority of people are happier and healthier when they form and maintain fulfilling and healthy relationships with others. Psychologists stress the importance of positive interpersonal relationships. As it turns out, making more meaningful connections might be the healthiest thing you can do. Researchers show that strong relationships can boost your health mentally, physically, and emotionally. Psychologists Brooke Feeney and Nancy Collins reported their research on social acceptance in the Personality and Social Psychology Review Journal. Their study shows that meaningful relationships promote health and well-being in the following important areas: a feeling of purpose in life, the ability to pursue and achieve goals, psychological well-being, regarding oneself positively, better self-esteem, mental health and the absence of brain-related disorders and diseases, social well-being, expecting positive results, physical activity, a healthy body weight, better overall health than expected for their age, gender, and other considerations. More self-esteem and a healthy self-image lead to better self-care. That means the person with several meaningful relationships takes care of himself. This leads to a longer lifespan and less of a chance of becoming sick or giving in to disease. So not only do meaningful connections with others make you feel better, they actually improve your overall health and well-being in a number of ways. Take time to form connections. Be a good friend and you'll attract good friends. Show the people that are important to you that they matter and both your health and theirs can improve. You can't make meaningful connections without honesty. Do you feel like you have a lot of people in your life that you don't really know? You have lots of acquaintances but very few close friends. Making more meaningful connections raises your quality of life. You really get to know what makes people tick, and that makes you want to open up to them as well. This makes you look forward to interacting with people. Connecting in an important way with others gives you feelings of understanding, fulfillment, and belonging. People that connect deeply with others experience less stress. This is because they're wondering what's going on in the heads of the people in their life. They have a good idea of what those people are thinking and feeling. Less stress is a beautiful dream anyone would enjoy. That means a longer lifespan, less sickness and disease, and less anxiety and depression. To turn that dream into reality, learn to connect in a meaningful way. Don't just get to know people in your life on the surface level. Dig deep down. Ask deep questions and pay attention when they're talking. Pay them compliments that come from a genuine place of interest. And by all means, be honest. Honesty won't connect you with everyone. When you talk about how you truly feel and the things that really matter to you, you're not going to be warmly received by everyone. We all have differences of opinion. What's important to you may or may not be important to the person you're trying to connect with. So understand that this is not a guaranteed way to connect with others. However, sometimes a meaningful connection is made even when your honesty doesn't line up with the experience of the other person. They might respect you for being honest rather than just saying what you think they want to hear. When someone else has views that align with what you talk about, a real connection is possible. You're sharing authentic, personal experiences. You're not making up stories just to impress someone. You're being honest about yourself and your life. If the person you're talking to can identify with what you're saying, they feel like they relate to you in an important way. Shoot for quality over quantity. Imagine that you have deep, meaningful connections with 5 or 6 good friends. That's always going to be better than having shallow, meaningless relationships with several dozen acquaintances. Aim for quality over quantity when forming relationships. Those quality connections can't last if you don't respect other people by hiding who you honestly are. 5 ways to make a meaningful connection with just about anyone. It's possible to connect in a significant way if you do certain things. This can help you make a connection with a customer, a neighbor, a coworker, or somebody you want a deeper relationship with. It guarantees effective communication and both parties are interested in each other in some way. This can help you advance your career. It makes getting along with your neighbors so much easier. Suddenly your children start doing their chores without you asking them. If you want to connect with someone in a way that makes the relationship more beneficial for both of you, just do these 5 things. 1. Ask their opinion. People love giving their opinion. Ask them what they think. Talk about a hot topic or something that's currently in the news. Avoid religion and politics and be careful when talking sports. People remember you when you ask them what their thoughts are on a subject. It shows you value their opinion. Think about what they say. If you can find some points where you agree with them, tell them you understand their opinion and why. If you differ with them, nod your head and say that you can see how they came to that conclusion. Then change the subject. 2. Use their name, but don't overdo it. It's said that the sweetest sound to any person is that person's name. If you want to kill a relationship before you get started, forget someone's name. One of the proven practices for remembering someone's name is to repeat it immediately after you hear it and look the person in the face. Another way to remember someone's name is to link one of their characteristics in your memory. If you meet Jim and he loves fishing, his name becomes Jim Fishing or Fishing Jim in your mind. Use their name frequently in conversations, but don't overdo it or you'll sound disingenuous. 3. Notice them. What are they wearing? Do they have a topic they talk about frequently? Do they mention their children often? Developing a deep connection with someone means you're really caring about who they are. You've got to notice them. After you recognize certain characteristics or tendencies about someone, then you want to do this. 4. Reconnect. Don't wait for fate to put you two together again. It doesn't matter who you're trying to connect with. Go out of your way to reconnect with them frequently. They'll see that you really do care about the relationship. 5. Listen and remember. If you do all the talking, how do you get to know someone? Listen, truly listen when they talk. Then remember what they say and bring it up in conversation later. This shows that you're making an effort to get to know them. Forming more meaningful connections is possible. You first have to care about the viewpoints and opinions of the other person. Then use these tips to connect on more than the surface level.